So I went on with videos and I was swearing. That shouldn't have been put up. That's all my crap. I don't need to share that with anybody. And if I offended anybody, sorry. But it's a frustrating time. I took them down. I'm always trying to figure it out. We've been doing that our whole lives. We've had people to go to. We've had people to take advice from or look to for advice. And we're living in a dark time. We can find light every now and again. I found it today by listening to the rosary, basically, and also listening and reading out loud breaking curses of the Freemasonry oaths that a lot of us don't realize have been taken a lot of generations prior to our being born, just a long time ago. And it's astounding. Like, who knew that? You know, you don't go to church and the priest doesn't say to break those oaths, or that you can do that in Jesus's name. It's very important. And I was just so calm after that. There's so much that we're learning and waking up to that it's like a flood for some of us, and it's really important to put the pieces together. Why? You know, I don't know, but if it's an inner calling for you, then that's coming from a divine place, and you don't need to answer to anybody else. You don't need to shove it down anybody's throat either. If they want to know, I'm happy to tell you. If not, you know, let them do their thing. Don't let anybody harm you, though. Don't be a doormat, where if you've got a belief or a conviction and then they stomp all over it, you know, you don't have to swear and say the things I said in the other video. You don't have to do that. I had to be very tough where I was from, and it served me well. It's kept me out of danger, but I faced a lot in my life. And just that 1 hour with God, the Hail Mary, and I can't even begin to tell you the peace that I found. But I also did that renouncing prayer, the renouncing of the Freemasonries. That's in certain churches. And of course, they're not going to tell us. It's very subtle symbols that people have done. Then why would you know? But there are oaths that these men have taken. There are rituals that are heinously just not even something that we should have to comprehend, but which go all the way to a very subtle thing that you'd never notice. And I'm not saying to go look that up or anything, but what I'm saying is that it does exist. And I think the fact that we're all looking for information from this place and that place, and this is an example. It's like my dad died. I look at his picture from years ago before he got demented. My mom died 26 years ago. I still look at her picture, and it's like I'm talking to them every day because I miss my parents, but they're not God. They're not gonna give me the clarity that I need. And all that I did was this renouncing prayer. I, prayed the rosary. I can't begin to tell you the peace I found. It's disturbing for a lot of us to see humanity go crazy. And I know that it's part of the plan. But it's so, people like me, since childhood, we've been abused. And nothing that we did was right. And so we look to the adults or the bosses or whoever to validate the right thing, and then we got to a place that we were complacent. But that doesn't work either, because everybody's going to have an issue. We're not in heaven yet. We're not, nothing's perfect. You know, go with your gut. That's intuition, and that should not be ignored. It's there for a reason. If something feels off to you, stay away from it. If something feels right, pursue it. That's something that we have been blessed with. Whether or not priests told you, and I was in Catholic school from the time that I was in first grade, but they left that kind of thing out. A lot of the churches did want power over us. And it's tricky. It's very, very tricky. I guess my message is that, you know, just stop looking to others for their validation of what's right for you. My little video was just, you know, something that I should have taken into a boxing room and kicked a few, whatever those things are. Like, that's my thing. That doesn't need to be thrown upon anybody else. And I realized that. And I realized that through getting quiet and looking to God, to Jesus. That's my thing. You don't have to do it. If I can, you know, if you are a Jesus person, then, you know, I just remember that does work, because I'm sure that it has in the past. We're on our own, but we're not. You know, this is a time of reckoning. This is a time to really get to know yourself, not worry about the validation of others. It probably doesn't feel very good. And then that's when you say, okay, I'm gonna figure this out on my own. You go into your bedroom or a bathroom, any way that you can get away. I'm able to do things alone, unless my cats want treats. But you know, we're overwhelmed by a lot. There's so many loose ends that we want to tie up, that it's really not about that. Because where are we once we tie those up? Then we've got other ones, and it'll never end, and then we're dead, you know, and then we die. So my hope, because I want my friends to be happy, I want everybody to be happy, and I get in a mood, and it's been really annoying. Really, really frustrating after almost a year. And the Freemasonry thing, these things, these oaths, I never knew. I was renouncing all these things that I didn't know. And, you know, sororities at colleges, and these guys are doing things they don't even know what they're doing, women too. And it's literally a curse. And I don't care if I sound batshit crazy to some. I'm not talking to those people. They don't matter to me. You know, do what you want to do. God bless you. I'm talking to the people that, you know, are resonating with what I'm saying. And if I can help, that's fine. And that's a whole waste of 10 seconds, because I'm worried about somebody else laughing at me. But we've been going through this since we were in daycare, you know. And it's just... it's not necessary. It's a trick. There's Jesus, there's God, there's heaven, and there's also the bad one. There's Lucifer, and he's got many tricks up his sleeve and many minions running around. You know, it's gonna sound funny, but a lot of the masks are slipping. A lot of them. And I don't mean the ones that people are walking around in. I mean their personality, you know, people that we've known all our lives, people that we thought that we could trust. And when you realize that they don't have your best interest at heart, you can walk away. You can find peace. It's not, they're not allowed to steal your peace. And I think that some of us are being tricked into that. I know that I was when I was taking care of my dad and met his side of the family and how they were. And God only knows, there's a curse on that family and my mother's. You know, I'm reflecting a lot. I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff, a lot of junk, a lot of toxicity that I didn't know was there. And I'm so grateful for it. Stand in your own power. Don't go to somebody else because they think that there's some kind of God over you. You know, we've been tricked. We've been tricked. Find these renunciation prayers. But the, you know, Freemasonry, boy, a lot of those secret societies, and it's just generational, and it's fascinating to me, but I don't know. God led me to find that. You can't imagine the peace. I've had really no peace in a very long time. Then there are people who shove it down your throat and say, oh, you're this and that. Oh, I've had people, my family, just make me feel so less than because of the faults of my mom that they deemed faults, and faults of my dad. And, you know, it wasn't up to them to judge. They don't get to go to Jesus and have peace and then act like Jesus and God and put it on you. How does that make sense? It doesn't. It doesn't. And it's so easy to say, please go away. You know, you're making me feel uncomfortable. When we go onto Facebook, we're just, that may as well be a bunch of little wrestling rings. Just everybody's got a difference of opinion. A lot of people want you to go along with what they think because they're bullies. They've just got that bully instinct. And if you're not a bully, you won't resonate with it. You won't like it. But don't be scared of the bullies. You know, that's how I had to get to where I was. Oh God. I've had a lot of, you know, ever since I was a kid. You don't need to go into those rings. Shut it off. Delete the person. We don't have a ton of time here. Get quiet. Get alone with yourself. Pray to God. Pray to Jesus. These curses and stuff, I may sound silly, but like I said, I just found out about them. I didn't know anything about them. I just went on with the world. Some days I missed that world where I didn't know the terrible things that were going on. So I didn't look at them. I just went about my day, and it's like, oh, but I'd rather know. And there's a reason I know. It's time for reckoning. It's time to get right with yourself. Do what you can to be of good service. If they're bullies and they don't stop, if you explain something, then, you know, you don't have to continue. I'm seeing so many of these fights. Even Mr. Potato Head, Cat in the Hat. It's like, what's the point? It takes up so much time and energy, and then the dishes don't get done. People who want to judge you, they're doing you harm. They're not good with themselves. That's all I can tell you.